Hoyoverse has been making a lot of niche DPSs recently in Genshin. I want to explain why this is. You barely scratched the surface on this, and it's only going to get worse. Well, first off, it's pretty simple, really. It's just really boring to go out of their way just to do normal power creep. It's also really unfavored, too. I mean, think about it. You got Hu Tao, you got Marika, you got Yoimiya. Like, oh my god, Hu Tao's so broken, and whoop, Alakino comes out, well, she's broken. Well, oh, well, would you look at that? Marika's came out, she's busted. And then it's constantly a pick up and drop, and pick up and drop. However, for this time, you can't just pick up and drop this character. You know why? Because they're good for one specific thing, and one specific thing only. It doesn't replace those other units that were in that set competition as well. A great example of this is Flynn's versus, what's her name? Flynn's versus Viessa. Is Flynn's better than Viessa? Well, it depends. Viessa can do pretty much everything, right? You can play her on overload teams, you can play her on superconduct teams. I don't know why you would do that, but you can play her on that too. Electrocharge teams, heck, even the new lunar reaction teams too. But is she better than him at electrocharge? No. No, she's not. Another example of this would be Wriothesley versus Skirk. Is Skirk the best cryo DPS in the game? Yes. Can you play Skirk on a melt team? No. You know who you can? Wriothesley. You can also play Wriothesley on any other team you want to play Wriothesley on. You can play Wriothesley on Freeze. You can play him on Melt. You can play him on Burn. You can play him on Burgeon if you wanted to. I don't know how you're going to do that, but you can do that too. Because Skirk is bound to just Freeze, she doesn't trample over any of the other characters, any of the other cryo characters. It also gives rooms for them to sit there and buff those characters that can do everything too. Well, we've seen recently they've buffed characters like Lee and Razor and Mona, God bless her soul. So it would mostly be a matter of time until they start buffing all the other characters that are like Hu Tao and Yoimiya. Please, for the love of God, please buff Yoimiya, please. I don't know, throw her on standard or something. Anything, please. Now on to my second reason. There's just way too many different combinations they can do with this. I mean, just think about it for a second. Let's go into like the earlier stages of them playing around with this. Ito, Geo, mostly wants to be played on Geo teams. Then they created Navia. Navia is well-rounded. She can be played on any team. You got someone like Z-Bai, Hydro Geo only. You got Flynn's. Flynn's has some wiggle room, but he still wants to be played with a Hydro character. You got Nefer. Dendro Hydro only. Wants to be played on that team, is completely useless without it. And because of that, there's a market for this type of stuff. Now, what if there's a new character, a new Geo character on the street, and they have a whole brand new reaction with like Pyro Geo? We'll just pretend Z-Bai is that new character. And now we put her with Fire character. Yehoda's not a Fire character. Now you just created a whole brand new team comp. And guess whose way it's not in? Z-Bai's, because Z-Bai is Geo Hydro, not Geo Pyro. That's a whole brand new character team you can do. And then you go even further. Geo Cryo. One day I hope they do this. Geo Amino. I just listed 3 different extra teams that Hoyoverse can sit there and do and make characters off of these 1 reactions only. And that means the bucket of character diversity they can do is absolutely enormous. I was just doing an example with Geo. Imagine all the other elements that you could do and combinations and create just a niche support for that those 1-2 reactions for a singular reaction. I'm not saying every character is going to be tied down to one niche, but there certainly will be a lot of them. Now I want to sit here and go over my thoughts on this. To be honest, I actually like this idea. However, it can also backfire at the same time. Because if I sit there and I go back to the analogy that I said before, where Flynn's is amazing at electrocharge and Viessa is good at every single thing. You might as well play Viessa in an overload team. Oh wait, would you look at that? They have a whole brand new electro character that strictly wants to be played on overload teams. Well, I might as well not play Viessa there. I might as well play Viessa in like Amino Swirl team. Oh, would you look at that? There's already an Amino Swirl DPS, the electro character, that's broken and niched down to that 1 role. I don't need to play Viessa anymore for that either. And all the other options that you could do to play Viessa gets hijacked by a master of the craft in the one arts. So over time, you start to realize that your jack of all trades ends up becoming a master of none. And then the character becomes useless. So a way to counterbalance that would have the character be a jack of all trades and master of one at least. So that way they can have versatility and not get their niche taken away from them. Which, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really see Genshin doing that at all. By the way, this will officially be my 100th video. Yay. I'm so excited. I am excited, but I'm just not excited, but I am. If that makes any sense. It's just 4 o'clock in the morning. So, I'm not really sure too much on Abyss content, though. I know recently you guys were loving the Zealand one that I made. At least a lot of people have. But I don't really get to talk in those type of videos, and I want to learn to react and talk to you guys a lot more. My communication skills are pretty garbage. Actually, also the reason why I do so many like short edits too. There's times where I have to sit there and redo my thoughts, so it takes me a while, and I sometimes sit there for like minutes trying to remember what I was going to say. It's not a bad habit of mine. It's just something I'm not used to. I'm not used to talking in the camera a lot. Anyway, that's all. Thanks for stopping by, y'all.